Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Blake and Sal Show with Mark. Celebrating its 10-year anniversary, dominating the podcast world. Now sit back and relax, and let's welcome your hosts, Blake, Sal, and Mark.
Charlie, be quiet, don't make a sound. You got to lower the noise a little bit now. If she knows you're in love, she's gonna run away. I'm not making the same mistake. Won't be putting my heart on display. I'll just water my feelings down. I'm not going out looking dumb, telling all my friends how you're the one. Those words never leave in my mouth. The feeling that's cause it's all getting too loud. Charlie, be quiet, don't make a sound. You got to lower the noise a little bit now. If she knows you're in love, she's gonna run away.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Blake and Sal Show with Mark, episode number 449. I'm your host, Blake, and it is snowing here in Milwaukee as we're recording this on Wednesday. And it's been fun because I actually decided I'm getting up the road today. I drive all day for work, so I'm like, I'm getting up the road. It's unsafe. I'm not doing this anymore today. Please pardon the dog barking in the background. I don't know what they're barking about. Let's bring on my co-host. First of all, the biggest hill. I'm podcasting literally the heel today because he's got the NWO background.
And sure.
NWO shirt. You're going full NWO today.
That's right.
Sweet. Sal, how you doing?
To all the jabronis out there, you can go fuck yourself.
I should just isolate that. Let's bring on also.
We got to keep the survey.
The man, the myth, legend, our wrestling historian, the man who knew every single person that was playing poker on Raw this week. Mark, Dad, how you doing?
Hey, look, AEW t-shirt.
That went double shirt but wrestling background. So that's what I did.
Wait, but you have an AEW
go.
shirt on with a WWE background. Shame on you.
That's how that went. By the way, Sal, what song this ended? The song ended right. What song was it?
Yeah, it's very short. It's called Charlie Be Quiet from Charlie Puth. His new album is fantastic. Of course, like he recorded half of it on TikTok and we all watched it. And it's fantastic. And it's really short. The whole album is like 45 minutes and it's like 12 songs or something like that. Yeah. Jeez. It's really short, but it's really, really good. I love it.
Wow. That's crazy.
You better watch it on TikTok.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Don't get me started on TikTok stupidity. I was going to say something real fast. It's funny. Me and Sal were talking, literally spent the entire day last night talking about the fact that next week I'm going to be in Jersey. It's so weird to say that. Like, it's so bizarre. Because like next week's podcast schedule is all kinds of weird. I'm not going to get into it all today. We'll get into it more next week. But like next week's podcast schedule is all kinds of weird. But it's all good. But this week is one of the biggest weeks of the calendar year for us. And it's the Rumble. Looking forward to the Rumble this year. We got to be better than last year. We'll talk about that a little later, though. We're starting the show. Help support the show and find all the problems you can find the show and the problems you work on at theblakeandsalshow.com. Sal.
You can buy our shirts, stickers, hoodies, tampons, and more. I couldn't think of anything from our TeePublic store. Click on the TeePublic link on our site or go to TeePublic and search for Blake and Sal.
Hey, did the Blake and Sal show with Mark snowshoes come in yet?
Vital items actually available, especially Sal. That's just weird. That's just weird.
You mean the ladies wouldn't want to stick up us in there?
Probably not. Probably not.
Nah.
Let's go to break. We'll come right back. All right. As always, if you have not picked up the book, I Know I Am, it's available on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, Oriental Publishing, and everywhere you can, pretty much everywhere online you can find books, apparently. It's available in English and Spanish. It's written by our own Mandy Riley. Please go pick it up.
Who is currently buying Blake and Sal Show with Mark tampons.
Oh, yeah, that's not enough. You need to deal with the Blake and Sal Show t-shirt that I got her.
Maybe because she wants a Blake and Sal show.
Yeah, I think I'm the only one that wearing that. I think I'm the only one that's wearing Blake and Sal Show t-shirts at this point. I'm the only one.
Maybe she wants the hoodie instead of the t-shirt.
How about Blake and Sal Show cashews?
I wonder, by the way, because we're doing our live show in Jersey, I wonder if you'll actually, for once, actually wear the biggest podcasting shirt that I got for you.
Let's see if I remember.
We're gonna find it. We gotta find it.
No, I know where it is. It's in my
Yes,
it's in my trailer.
Oh yeah, because I did get, I did, yeah, because I did make a brand new shirt for next week, a 10-year anniversary shirt for next week. So I have it. I had to wear it for the first time next week. So anyway, speaking of
Look
our
at you
10 years,
busting out the money there.
it was funny. It was funny because I went through. Like I'm working a few weeks ahead on run sheets because of obviously being in Jersey and everything. I'm working a few weeks ahead, and I'm working on our history stuff. And like next week, there is nothing, absolutely nothing going on in the history of our show on next week's show. But because we skipped last week. But by the way, I hope everyone enjoyed last week's show. It was a completely impromptu move, but throw a show up last week like that.
And I was appalled.
Yeah, well, yeah, it was an impromptu move last week. But thank you for enjoying that. I know people actually listened to it and enjoyed it. So there you go. But so because we did this last week, I was like, okay, I got to go from January 14th to January 27th on the history of the Blake and Sal show. So I did. Yeah, listen from last week and put that out there. So here we go. A lot happened in these 2 weeks in our show history. First of all, you realize that David, our old boss, his first appearance on the show was in 2014, January 22nd, 2014.
That was a long time ago.
A long time ago now. Bunch of interviews happened. I interviewed Jeff Barnes, who wrote a bunch of Disney books. Paul Berry and Jim O'Kane on my Pod podcast. Matt Stryker, I interviewed on January.
I don't even remember that.
That was a great interview. And Adam Jacobs, who's a lot on Broadway. I interviewed him that week. Now a couple of big notes on our show. First of all, me and Dad did a live show from Brew City Wrestling Rise to Honor 15 at the Elks Lodge. It's on our feed. You can go back and listen to it. It's from January 18th, 2019 with Sierra, Sean Priest, Vanessa Arze, and Scott Wisinski. Scott Wisinski's still doing the ring announcing for Brew City Wrestling to this day. So that's fun. Sierra, who we saw recently on AW television. So that's interesting. So
and she's doing other bookings
everywhere.
within the tri-state area.
She's been literally everywhere. She's like going all over the place now. So Sierra, big deal. That's pretty cool.
I'm happy for
her. January 22nd, 2014, we did our second ever live show, Sal, on the podcast when we were trying to experiment with live shows back at the beginning of our show. We realized that was a terrible idea. But we actually
wasn't that a disaster?
The first one was great. So we did a second one. The second one was a disaster. The second one was a disaster. And both of these episodes, by the way, are up in. I put them in archive episodes about a month or two ago. So both episodes are up in the Blake Essential archive episodes. But this one had like a live call-in line where people were calling in on the phone line. It was ridiculous. Like, this is a ridiculous hour and a half show. And on that episode, it was Dad, it was Mandy, Kurt Hoffman. Because it was the Royal Rumble show. David's first appearance was on that show. And then Eric, for some reason, called in, and Angel called in. I don't even know what happened. I don't remember why everyone called in. It was a weird show. And also, on January 24th, 2020, 3 years ago, was our 300th show.
Yes.
That was crazy. That was a good show, too. That was a lot of fun.
Before the world ended.
Literally, right before the world ended. The funny part is, because we're doing this on Wednesday, I was on my Facebook memory that it popped up when I went live on Facebook Live on the Blake and Sal thing, so we could do our voicemails on Facebook Live before we had Zoom, because Zoom wasn't a thing yet. Or now, if we did that, I just go live on Zoom and just jump on that way.
Right.
What we might do for the anniversary show. That's right. I haven't heard that. I haven't got to that yet. February. I'll worry about the anniversary show. I haven't gotten there yet.
Yeah, we haven't do the Zoom voice calls or voicemails or things like that.
That's the anniversary show. That's for the anniversary show.
Cool.
That's going to be for the anniversary show next in March. So, I bet the next month. 2 months. 2 months away already. Fuck, I can't believe it's 2 months away already. But anyway, that being said, that's our history. Let's get back to the real world.
Okay, Mr. Peabody.
And now let's get into the crazy world of professional wrestling.
Thank you, Kurt.
Yay.
Thank you, Kurt. All right. We missed last week. And when we're recording this on Wednesday, they are finally doing something as a tribute on AEW television, because Warner Discovery decided to not be assholes about this one. Right, literally a couple of days before we were supposed to record last week. on Tuesday night, right before we record, we found out that Jay Briscoe died in a sudden car crash, and his 2 daughters got rushed to the hospital. The driver of the other car also got killed. 8:38, and admittedly shocked everybody. Like, this was a shocker. Affected everybody in the wrestling business. I have never seen, even when Brody passed away, I mean, this outcry, this was unreal. Like, I have never seen anything like this for anybody in a long, long time. So what is with these dogs today? Trying to have a moment. Stop it. Anyway,
Maybe it's the coyote that came out of the shed.
Anyway,
oh, you had that ready to go.
Soundboard right here.
Thank you.
Anyway,
Survey says.
anyway, that's what we were talking about. Jay Briscoe, what is going on? Anyway, Jay Briscoe passed away, and the outcry was amazing. I was like, wow. I'm gonna mute myself out. I'm gonna go see what's going on. Dad, why don't you start talking about Jay Briscoe? I'll be right back.
Okay. Yeah, Jay Briscoe. Was hard to believe when first heard the news because they just wrestled the show a couple of days ago, and there was word on the horizon that them being part of the ROH family, that eventually there'll be coming back on hopefully on their television deal. But talented wrestler, him and his brother Mark, great tag team, phenomenal tag team. We got a chance to meet him when they were over in Milwaukee.
Yes, I was about to bring that up.
Hall Ballroom.
I'm back all the way.
And I mean, and you can tell that Mark is the wacky one out of the 2 brothers, and Jay was the serious one. And great talents, both of them, but this is a talent whose torch was extinguished way too soon and had a lot to offer, not only the wrestling world, but people in general. Great family man, great husband, father, brother, friend, crossed a lot of friends in different wrestling organizations. You could tell just from the Twitter and all the well wishes that were sent. Unfortunately, with something like this, you would wish that some corporate executives would basically, get their cojones out of their sack and basically grow a pair and do what's right. But unfortunately, that's not the case.
Well, I will say, by the way, for those wondering, the UPS guy showed up. That's what that was all about. For those wondering.
So cliche.
That was about. But anyway, so it's crazy when I say the Briscoes have been around for 20 years. That is weird when they're in their 30s. That's so crazy. They've been around for 20 years because Ring of Honor has been around for 20 years, and they've been literally there since day one.
Weren't they like the very first match also?
Something like that.
Yeah.
Crazy is that they have more title reigns. Like for instance, they have the more tag team title reigns than the next 3 people combined. Next 3 teams combined. Yeah. Like, it's that insane. That's how long they've been in Ring of Honor. It hit me unexpectedly hard when the news broke. I didn't expect it to hit me harder than it did. But I am a Briscoe fan. Like, I've been a Briscoes fan for a long time. And like Dad said, we met them. And I joke about this. We always joke about this when we talk about Kevin Owens. Why I love Kevin Owens so much. It's because when I met Kevin Steen, he was the nicest guy on the fucking planet. Like, the nicest guy in the world. And I didn't expect it because he was such an asshole as a character. But he's such a nice guy. Such a great guy. The same thing can be said about the Briscoes. The picture, I have a picture of them, and I'll put it in the graphic for this week's show. But the picture I have of them is amazing.
Mm-hmm.
They're in character. But when the camera was off, they were so nice to us. Like, oh my God, they were so cool. Like, I was instant fan. It was amazing. And that was also the same day we met the Young Bucks. And I can't say the same. The Young Bucks were nice, but the Briscoes were better.
Yeah,
like, it's really crazy. Like, it's crazy.
I like it when he said, "You want to take a picture with the belts? You want to wear the belt?"
Yeah, he let us wear their belts. Like, I didn't expect that. It was really cool. Like, it was a cool experience.
and they were so humble and thanked us for being there. And if it wasn't for us, they wouldn't be where they are.
Exactly. So what I will say, and Dad brought it up, and I know Sal's like sitting there with his hand over his mouth because I know he wants to talk. I want to throw it to him in a second. There is a controversy. There is that controversy of tweets that Jay put out over a decade ago. And that's the reason why Warner Media did not want them on their TV screen. And I understand it. I get it. Like, I understand it. You can't take back what you say out on the internet. It is possible, especially as a celebrity. But you can't atone to your mistakes. And you can't make up for your mistakes. And as I said to Sal, if Effie goes out there and says he's changed, he's a better person, I take Effie for his word, because if there's anybody in the LGBT community in wrestling that is like the barometer, it is Effie. So Sal, I'll let you go.
I struggled a little bit with this because of how I felt about things that were said in the past, and I know it was a long time ago, but as somebody who has to hear that kind of shit all the time, it's very hard to let it go. And but what happened last week, and I said jokingly, well, semi-jokingly, and I said, I felt bad, but I also did say if he did something stupid and did this to himself, I'm taking that sympathy back. And when the news came out of actually what really happened, I'm upset. I am upset because he was way too young. His children were in the car. Children are in the hospital. His children were very seriously hurt. And I mean, you know me, I don't like seeing children hurt. And just reading about, the one couldn't move her legs, and it was just a lot more serious in total. I mean, just on top of the deaths that happened. I mean, these two children were so hurt, you know what I mean? And their lives could be changed forever because of this. Whatever that other driver did, we don't know if they were drunk or whatever. I didn't read anything about that. But I really I hope that the children will not suffer for the rest of their lives because of this. And I know they're going to suffer. Obviously, they lost their dad, and I don't even know who that lady was in the car with them because she passed away as well. Do you know who she was?
So the other person that died was actually the other driver. There was nothing
No,
in
but
the
they
car
said
with them. There wasn't anyone in the car with them. There was misinformation. There was no one else in the car with them.
Oh,
It was just the three of them.
okay.
It was just Jay and the two daughters.
The two daughters,
okay.
he was taking his girls to dance practice.
Oh, jeez.
That's what he was doing.
Oh. Yeah.
Yeah, he was being a good father.
Yeah, he was taking his day off to take his girls to practice. That's what he was doing.
Yeah.
So,
well, I mean, I guess just to conclude, I hope they recover, and I hope they recover completely. And I mean, like, I want them to have a normal life. I don't want these injuries to affect them for the rest of it because they're young. I mean,
extremely young.
If something were to happen,
younger than TJ, they're younger than TJ. They're younger than Christian. Let's just leave it at that.
Yeah,
they're younger than him.
I think they're like 9 or 10 or something like
I think
that.
they're
right?
like 10 or 12, something, but there's younger than TJ.
Yeah.
TJ's 14 for those listening who don't know. My son's 14. So, like, yeah.
Yeah, so it's just, it's unfortunate. These things happen all the time, it's understood, you know what I mean? Like things like this is going to happen no matter who you are, whether you're rich, poor, or whatever. But I think at this point, I am glad that Warner Discovery did change their mind. I was honestly a little surprised they didn't do anything more than just the graphic at the beginning and the armbands.
They weren't allowed. They weren't allowed.
Yeah, they weren't
wanted
allowed.
to. They had other plans, and they weren't allowed to do it.
Yeah, and we found that out literally like as soon as the episode ended, all the news came out.
Well, what it is for those wondering, they did film a special. It hasn't aired yet.
Yes.
They filmed an entire special for Honor Club free. And that was another thing. People were like, how are you going to put it behind a paywall? Tony Khan made it clear it's free. It's going to be free. Sorry, that really annoyed me last week. Really annoyed me last week. But anyway, sorry. Yeah.
People are stupid. But I mean, all in all, I mean, it is sad, and regardless of my feelings, um, it's obviously now time to just let that go,
Mhm.
and I hope that his daughters are going to be okay.
So to close this out, we're doing this on Wednesday morning. We're doing the show on Wednesday afternoon. Tonight on Dynamite, we are getting a tribute match in honor of Jay Briscoe's 39th birthday. It's Mark Briscoe versus Jay Lethal. It's gonna be emotional as fuck to watch. I know it is.
From
Good.
from what I under okay, I'm sorry, I don't mean
Okay, good.
from what I understand that it was Jay that approached Mark and said he wanted to do this match
I haven't heard that yet,
because
but
they
that
got
doesn't
such a
surprise me.
deep friendship.
That doesn't surprise me.
Yeah, and basically said if he do the match, he says, I want it to be you and me and no one else. And Mark said, no problem, we'll do it, and we'll do it for Jay.
What's interesting is a lot of people don't realize that Jay Lethal is one of Jay Briscoe's top rivals at the singles. Because I explained it to CJ. Because CJ didn't realize that Jay Briscoe was a single. He didn't realize that. He didn't know that Briscoe was world champion twice in Ring of Honor. He didn't know any of that. So when I told him Jay Lethal's the one that beat Jay Briscoe for the title, he's like, wait, what? Wait, what happened? I'm like, yeah, that happened. And it was an epic feud. Like, that's an epic rivalry. So this makes so much sense to do this.
Well,
Yeah.
And here's the thing with the Briscoes is they're a team that you can say are unpredictable because you have no idea which move they're going to do and when they're going to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Case in point.
Yeah, well, my story. We'll get out of here. You got
from the balcony. Mark Briscoe goes out of the ring, goes up to the second floor, goes up to the third floor, basically the crow's nest is, goes past that. There's a balcony, jumps off the balcony. I literally say it's either 20 or 25 feet, does his froggy bow splash, and hits the mark on the opponent like they've practiced it.
I'm trying to find the show. I'm trying to remember what show it was. But that was an amazing moment in person. I have the DVD too. I have the DVD somewhere.
There were chances that people were saying, he's gonna die. He's gonna die.
Yeah, it was an amazing experience. That was an amazing, crazy experience. I can't remember the name of the show.
Right. Any match where the Briscoes are in, it's going to be crazy, but it's a match worth watching. You get your money's worth.
I found the show. Found it. It was July 14th, 2012. It is on Honor Club.
Okay.
It's on Honor Club. It is the ROH Bruce City Beatdown show. And the main event was the Briscoes taking on Jimmy Jacobs and Kevin Steen in an anything goes tag match. And it ended with Mark Briscoe doing a froggy bow off the top of the building, literally off the top of the balcony of the building. Like the craziest finishes I've ever seen in person. But we'll say this. I can't wait to watch Dynamite tonight. See what they do. And please go out there if you pray for his family. One more thing I found out. Apparently the family, Briscoe family, is actually helping out the other family. They're taking care of the other family, the one that crashed into him. They're taking care of them. They're actually reaching out to them. They're paying for their bill, paying for their stuff because he has kids, so they're taking care of their family too. So that's amazing. Like that's something I didn't know about until I heard it on everything today.
Well, here's something, and I'm gonna hack somebody else's product. Pro Wrestling Tees.
Oh, the shirt. Yeah, the shirt. Mm-hmm.
I ordered mine. And the reason why I ordered it is 100% of the proceeds of the sale of the shirt is going to the Briscoe family to cover the girls' medical bills and expenses and anything thereafter. There have been such an outpour that wrestlers have donated their own personal money to help these girls to make this through. And also to the Briscoe family to help them out in any way they can. My understanding is Chris Jericho gave you what, 10,000?
I'm not getting the number. I'm not getting the numbers. I'm not getting into that. That's not fair to people. You want to know, you'll find out. You'll find out where you got to find out. I will say this: reach for the sky. Let's move on.
Okay.
All right. This past Monday, I just want to talk about this. Raw 30 happened this week. And what a weird show this was. I enjoyed it. Apparently more than both people did. I enjoyed the show more than both people did.
It was definitely better than a lot of their other reunion slash anniversary slash whatever
it is. Yeah. But I thought it was cool. Like, unlike I'll use Raw 25 as an example. They actually respected the legends more, and they also didn't like overpower the main roster now, which was nice. Like it was nice, it was a nice mix. It was actually a nice mix for a change. So that was a nice change of pace. Go through the highlights. First of all, the first 45 minutes of the show was all, I felt like a SmackDown episode. For the first 45 minutes of the show was all one line. Which, if anyone watches SmackDown, that's all SmackDown is most weeks. It's all one line stuff. It really does SmackDown is most weeks.
Yeah.
But there's a tribal trial of Sami Zayn. I'm not gonna lie. I have no idea what we had a trial. I watched SmackDown last Friday. I know some of you did not. That did. Based on what happened on SmackDown, I have zero clue why we had this trial. I have no idea why we had this.
It's like they're it's like they're forcing the inevitable betrayal.
Which is fine if you want to
they're just rushing it.
Maybe they realize it's January and the Chamber's in February in Montreal. And they only have a few weeks after the Rumble to add things. It's only like 3 weeks away after the Rumble. So like they have to get things going if they want to do something in Montreal. Or maybe they have something big planned for the Rumble. I don't know what they have planned for Saturday. So,
right.
But what were your thoughts on the trial of Sami Zayn style, especially someone who doesn't watch SmackDown, who didn't see most of this stuff in real time like we did? So what were your thoughts?
I don't know. It's weird because they keep talking about whatever, and they're obsessing over the fact that he's going behind their back and he's secretly with Kevin Owens, and it's like, but then you saw like all the the evidence, and it's like, I don't. Where do they see this? Like, what am I like? What are they seeing that I'm not seeing? Because I don't see that at all on television, unless it's like behind the scenes stuff.
Yeah, I'm with you. I was confused too at times. I did pop though. And Roman's like, and Dad missed all this. So sorry, I'm not pointing to him because he missed this entire segment because there was stuff going on in the real world that he missed this entire segment. So I'm trying to recap it for him because he didn't see it. But the fun part for me was when Roman's like, he gets pissed at Sami because Sami's like, I have no defense. And Roman gets pissed at him. Roman gets pissed at him. So he's like, Solo. And he gets up and about to hit the Samoan spike, and Jay stops him. And I admit, I popped. Like, I didn't expect it. I popped. I was like, wait, what? What just happened? And I looked like, and I think Rich Band was amazing on everything this week. He was like, I want to imagine that Jay Uso knew that Paul was up to something and was sitting there in front of a Mac Pro, just piecing together this video package, just like little time codes, just trying to find a little clip to help Sami out. But that was fun. But Roman, I love how Roman's the judge in this weird trial thing that made no sense. Like it made any sense. And Roman's the judge. He says he's not guilty. The police goes, that crowd, by the way, was in the palm of their fucking hand for the entire segment. Oh my god, yes. That crowd was in the palm of their hands. And then we have the actual thing, and he tells them, I don't want to see you on Friday. But the Usos still have a title match. And we have the Usos versus Judgment Day. And so all that went down. Usos did retain. So there is word going around stuff because you've been wondering about that. They will be splitting up the tag belt soon, from what I'm hearing. So it just has
I think it's time.
It will be happening too, because that was the first time they've ever done a Raw tag team title match since they had the titles merge.
Right.
And they're having a tournament on SmackDown to be the number one contender for the SmackDown Tag Team Championships. So they're doing something. They're up to something. So Dad, now that you've heard all this, any thoughts? Because I didn't even see it. So, but any thoughts on what we were just talking about?
My thing is, for the last 2 weeks on SmackDown, that Sami has done things to impress Roman, and they've kind of backfired. You know what? It's my fault, not yours. My fault. And I'm just kind of going, what? First you yell at him and chastise him, and then all of a sudden later on you apologize, say it's my fault.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that part, Sal. You didn't see that.
Yeah.
Roman would snap on. Remember the night I think you ran the pictures of Sami, Paul, and Roman eating popcorn? randomly that night.
The new meme format, yes.
Hilarious that night. Well, that whole night started with Roman snapping on Sammy for losing to John Cena.
Okay.
That whole night started with that. And then Roman apologized to Sammy for yelling at him. And then that led to the whole they're going to watch the tag team title match while eating there. And then Sammy brought the popcorn. It was a weird segment. It was fun. It was so much fun, though. The pictures don't give context for how hilarious it was to watch it live. But that's what Tad's talking about.
but then all of a sudden you got Roman going, be me? Are you me? Are you taking over me? Oh, and then he goes to Sammy, do you want to be me? Do you want to do what I do? And no. But for Roman to come out with that and that line, he's thinking that Sammy's up to something. I don't know what, but I'm going to find out eventually. And I think that's where this whole thing comes, is that little bits and pieces of the earworms that Kevin Owens sticks in their ears now has basically Roman wondering, yes or no, is he or isn't he? Is he with us or is he against us?
I'm intrigued by it. And also the whole word, apparently this is supposed to be a tribal acknowledgement of Roman Reigns from like various generations of the Roman family, and they scrapped it for the tribal trial. I have a weird feeling that The Rock's supposed to be involved, and then Rock went out and said, "I'm not wrestling this year in a singles match." I have a feeling they had to pivot. I have a weird feeling they had to pivot. So that's how we ended up with the trial instead of this thing they actually had planned.
I can see it.
Yeah. So. But what happened was, because this segment went so damn long, and I'm not even sure how. I'm not even sure why. What happened here and why this segment went so long.
And it was commercial free on top of that. So there was like no excuse to say that it was commercials.
Yeah, the first hour was commercial free. We didn't have a commercial until what? After 8 o'clock Central Time? Like, it was crazy. So we had this long ass segment. I really enjoyed it. I enjoyed every single second of it. I thought it was great. And then we have the match. And then all of a sudden Bayley comes out for the steel cage match. And we finally go to a commercial. I'm like, this makes sense. We went split screen commercials. I'm like, cool. And then we had Becky come out. We're supposed to have the steel cage match. Supposed to be the first women's steel cage match in 19 years on Raw. And then it doesn't happen because Damage Control jumps Becky, and then the match gets called off, and then we never have the match because the tribal trial went long. In the moment, I didn't even think about it. Like, in the moment, I didn't even like react to the fact that it got canceled. Like, it didn't even click to me in the moment. So I'm like, okay, well, we'll either do it later in the night, or like we'll scrap it for the Rumble or something. And then they never said a word about it. We never even went back to Becky to check on her, and then we went on with the night. And people were online going crazy about this, and it didn't even dawn on me until the next day. Sal, you have any thoughts?
I mean, there were other matches they could have scrapped in favor of the steel cage match. I mean, they made such a big deal out of this match. It was Raw 30. It was a special event. The whole purpose of having the first female steel cage match in almost 20 years on Raw 30, there was a whole reason for this. And you scrap it, but then you keep. I can't even remember what the Bianca Belair match.
Bianca versus Sonya Deville.
Like, why was the Sonya Deville match so important that they kept that? Like, scrap that one. Fuck Sonya Deville. She had nothing to do with anything.
Like, well, okay. In the defense of what was going on in the moment on Monday, I understood what Sonya was there. She's having a feud with Charlotte. And Charlotte was in the ring because Ric Flair introduced Charlotte, yada yada yada. Right. And Sonya was there because she's having a feud with Charlotte on SmackDown, and that's fine. Absolutely fine.
And that's on SmackDown, not Raw.
But again, by the way, I'll let you throw this. This is the biggest audience Raw's had in about 5 years.
Yeah, they were making a big deal.
Biggest audience they've had in like 5 years. So, if looking at that perspective, knowing this is going to be a big show, and it's the go-home show for the Rumble, bringing over SmackDown, they had the moment of Bianca and Charlotte being in the ring together. Cool. You could have done that segment. You could have had Sonya come out. But the problem is, Charlotte and Sonya didn't even announce for Saturday. They haven't even announced it. You could have used that whole segment to announce the match for Saturday, and then moved on. And then you would have had that time for the steel cage match.
Or even do it on Friday.
Like, some variation of it. Like, I don't understand a lot of this stuff that went down here. Or you would take Sonya out and just have the segment with Bianca and Charlotte because you wanted Flair out there. Like, I understood that. Like, I don't understand what happened here. So, You were pissed. Dad, any thoughts?
What? Confusion, or less,
When aren't you confused?
because the storyline.
Oh, damn it, Sal, that was great.
That's why he is the biggest TLM podcast, ladies and gentlemen.
I have exercised the demon.
No,
That was amazing. That was great.
Because they start a story on SmackDown. They start saying SmackDown, and you bring it over to Raw, and it's kind of like, what?
Well, it's like I always say, they don't go here.
That's exactly what the crowd was.
Well, the crowd wasn't saying
I
it.
say every time a SmackDown person shows up on Raw, I text Blake and say, he/she does not go here.
That's exactly what Bianca was saying. You don't go here.
Well, I'll jump ahead of my run sheet because we were talking about SmackDown stuff happening on Raw.
Mm-hmm.
Literally, the entire LA Knight Bray Wyatt feud is happening on SmackDown. The entire thing's happening on SmackDown.
Yeah.
They brought it over to Raw. Then they're going to have the American Badass Undertaker come out. And
I freaked out for that one.
I went nuts. I didn't expect it.
I popped. It's like, damn.
Well, the funny part was CJ was in the living room with us, and the gong hits, and he's like, "Oh, that," because he's like, "Oh shit, that's dead." I love LA Knight so much. I love him so much. But Taker's music hits, and he's just like, "Ah, shit." And then the music stopped, and he's like, "What's going on? Is it a fake out?" And then all of a sudden you hear Kid Rock, American Badass playing. I'm like, and I freaked the fuck out. Like, I'm like, no fucking way. And he looked at me like, "What's wrong?" I'm like, "You're about to find out in 2 seconds." Where all of a sudden Taker drives out on the bike again. I'm like, he had not broke that bike in the ring in literally close to 20 years. Like, this is crazy. Yeah, well, by the way, I was right, Sal. It was Survivor Series 2003. Was the last time Biker Taker was a thing. Jeez.
Yeah.
Long
Sounds about
time.
right.
Yeah,
But-
so that's crazy.
Yeah.
So that moment happened. And I love the whole moment with Bray and Taker. I thought that was really cool. Like, that's what I mean about like the legends being respected and also like passing it off to the new people. That was one of those moments. It's like
Everyone's kind of was wondering, what did Undertaker whisper in Bray's ear? It doesn't matter.
He said, "I farted and don't breathe."
Oh damn it! I was gonna say he's gonna make me a sandwich.
No, basically he's saying in the back there's a poker game going on. You want in?
How much money you got in your pocket right now?
Yeah. But
Actually, there was a poker game going on in the back, so that's true.
but here's the thing. We haven't really got an explanation of what the blackout match.
We'll get there. When we get to the Rumble, we'll talk about that because we have a lot.
All right. Okay.
We'll get to the Rumble. The other big segments, we had Flair, obviously. We had Hogan open the show for some reason with Jimmy Hart. For some reason.
Can I make a point?
Go for it.
Is it me? Is it me? Am I the only one that has noticed, or am I just making this up? Every time Hogan comes out, he has mic problems.
You know what? I don't know if it's mic problem, but that was amazing. Yeah, you missed it. You totally missed this because you weren't home yet. So Hogan music hits. The crowd goes crazy because it's real American. Yeah. And then Jimmy Hart comes out, and everyone's like, "Oh, it's Jimmy Hart," because Jimmy Hart doesn't come on TV very often. That's a pretty cool moment.
Mm-hmm. Right.
And then Hogan comes out, and it's like, okay, this is a cool moment. It's very flashback, very, very cool. Even if you don't like Hogan right now because he's a racist bastard, it was still a cool moment. So then he gets
allegedly.
It's not alleged when you have audio proof.
Allegedly.
I'm not going to let you on this one.
Listen, if Trump can deny, so can he. That's all.
I'm not Trump, so I'm gonna say this is what happened. But anyway, even if you don't like him because he's a racist bastard, it was a really cool moment to have Hogan and Jimmy Hart on the stage to open the show. This is even before they hit the Raw 30 intro. Like, it was really cool.
Yeah.
And he comes out and he gave him a microphone. And the microphone didn't work. The microphone kept shorting out to the point where I felt bad for the stagehand in a mask. Wearing the face mask because they have to backstage. And he comes out with the microphone and like looks at Hogan like, "Microphone, sir?" So bad for that guy.
Why for Hogan? He's half the size he used to be.
But the point is, though, the guy's probably a fucking intern. And he's got to go up to one of the biggest wrestlers of all time and say, "Give me the microphone, sir." Microphone, sir. It was a really funny moment.
Mr. Hogan, sir. No, Mr. Hogan's my father, dumbass.
It was a very, very funny moment. So, the thing you reminded me of, that was very funny. I forgot about that. It reminded me of that one. And then there was also the DX segment, which I was not looking at the screen at first because I was talking to Mandy and
that segment.
Yeah, Dad. I see him reacting.
That segment out of everything was probably the most entertaining of them.
Yeah, I was about to say. So for those who don't listen, that jump into that show, I know we have new listeners all the time. Me and Sal watch Raw together usually for the first 2 hours until Sal decides to get tired and go to bed, which I don't understand because he has to work on Tuesdays and I do.
I stayed up an extra 20 minutes last night.
Sal, I work on Tuesdays. You don't. So anyway,
I need my sleep.
No comment. Anywho, so hold on, I'm trying to into this. Sal, you can't say that. And then I text you right after the main event thinking you're sleeping, and you're like, "Oh shit." You're obviously still awake an hour later.
I'm catching up on my social media before I fall asleep, okay?
For an hour. But anyway, I had to just bring that up because that was very funny on Monday. But anyway, so the DX music hits, and Mandy's freaking out because they're Sean, and we're having fun in the room, and CJ's laughing. And I didn't even notice that Kurt Angle walked out with them. I didn't even notice it at first. And then all of a sudden I look at my phone, and you're like, why is Kurt Angle there? I was like, look at the screen. And Andy looked at me like, why is Kurt Angle there? Like, I have no idea why Kurt Angle's there. Let's find out. Let's find out why Kurt Angle's there.
He was the Wish version of Billy Gunn.
I thought he was hysterical. I thought Angle was so fucking funny during this whole segment because he did not belong there at all. Like,
no.
Not there whatsoever. But having him wearing his shirt next to DX is hysterical. And then Road Dogg like, wait, Kurt, what are you doing here? He's like, I always want to be around DX. He takes off his shirt, he's wearing a DX shirt. By the way, knowing what we know now, do you realize that at one point during the thing, Kurt Angle was wearing 3 shirts?
Yes.
We'll set up everything going on. Like, that's amazing to me.
Well, then all of a sudden you got Sean doing a double take when Kurt says, I always wanted to be a DX member.
Yeah, that was very funny. Road Dogg was best, though. Road Dogg was amazing during that segment because he was trying to play off the Billy Gunn stuff, and that was very, very funny. But then Imperium comes out. And that, I did not expect to see Imperium. That was a big surprise. And what I thought was the ultimate compliment to Gunther was in the past, when we have a DX segment, whoever comes out, and they call this the FTR treatment, that whoever comes out usually gets beat up by DX. This time, everyone's like, I'm not fighting Gunther. We're doing this. We're all old men. We're not doing this. So that's when Seth Rollins comes out, and then the Street Profits come out, and then Triple H, and one of my favorite lines of the entire night, I was like, this booking stuff is hard. We need somebody to come out. Yeah, make this match. And then I looked at Mandy, I'm like, it's going to be taking long. I said it immediately, it's going to be taking long. There's no way that works here. Like, there's no other bit that works here. So all of a sudden, taking long music hits, the place goes absolutely fucking crazy. And he makes it a tag team match, playa. This referee. And Kurt Angle's wearing a referee shirt. Like, what is happening? This is finally to a 6-man tag, but like this whole segment was fantastic. Like I had so much fun. A lot of people hated this segment. Like I loved it. Like I loved every minute of this.
Yeah.
Well, who is it that announced the 2 other members of the trio?
Who we're talking about?
Basically, on the spot, it was Seth freaking Rollins,
and then the Profits. And the Profits came out.
Right? Was that Teddy that announced them?
No, they came out on their own. They came out on their own. So, because it was one of those things where I think it was Sean Waltman's like, but there's still only one of you. There's 3 of them. That's what that was. That was very funny.
Well, I liked it too when they were all set and he's showing Kurt, okay, Kurt, we're gonna do this, and now you gotta do this.
Yeah,
okay,
I gotta admit though, it was a lot of fun. Like I thought it was great.
It was entertaining. It really was.
So, the other question, because we joked about it earlier, why is it no matter what we do this, no matter when we do anniversaries, no matter what the thing is, no matter what the ceremony is, you advertise 87 legends. And then like 90% of them are playing poker in the back. Like, the first time has this happened? This has happened before? Like, why advertise these legends? Why advertise all these people?
Well,
if they're all just getting in the back, play poker. Like, it made no sense.
But then scrap the bellows.
Well, the Bellas did now. Bellas actually did not get scrapped. They decided not to show up.
Oh.
They decided they didn't want to be there. And then they went on Instagram and complained that there was no women revolution stuff going on during the show.
Right.
So that was the Bellas' decision. Had nothing to do with them. It was like Mick Foley was invited, but he just decided to show up. Like that kind of stuff. Like Mick Foley. Well, Mick Foley apparently is doing some secret project, and he hadn't had a day off at home in like 21 days. So he decided instead of going to Raw, he went home to spend time with his family. So
understandable.
So that's completely reasonable. I understand that logic. You know.
Yeah.
What did you guys think of the JBL spot?
I'm over JBL and Baron Corbin. I'm over the entire thing.
So
like, I just don't care. I don't care. But I really enjoyed the APA reunion. That was pretty cool. But like, I don't care about the rest of it. And right. I don't understand why we're doing it. I don't understand why JBL and Corbin are together. Like, I don't understand any of it.
Right.
So, why? Where do you stand on it?
I'm over it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't get it.
I don't get why you're trying to hype up Baron Corbin when basically there's like nothing for him to do as far as
he's a good heel. He's a really good heel. Just let him be himself. You don't have to add weird gimmicks and like happy Corbin hanging out with JBL. Like, it would make no sense. None of it makes any sense.
Right.
You know, but I mean, you don't have him do anything. That's just it. It's just
I'm agreeing with you. I'm agreeing.
Fair. You know, and I don't know if they have anything in plans in the future for him, like to go after a title, or if he's going to be spoiler for something. I have no idea.
I think it's the problem with all the singles champions for the men currently being on heels. That's the problem. You can't have another top heel running around when there's no belt to go after because all the belts are on heels. Literally what's going on. Roman has both major belts. The U.S. title's on Austin Theory, and he's feuding with Seth Rollins and Bobby Lashley and other people who don't like him. And Gunther is feuding with the entire roster of SmackDown. So, like you're the singles champions are busy and doing more important things than Baron Corbin. They're doing more important things. Like, that's what's going on right now. Like, you have Roman doing the most epic storyline we've ever seen. Like, right now. Like,
yep.
Which, by the way, before we hit the Rumble, we'll get into the Rumble second. Do you realize that the Roman Reigns storyline, we're heading into the Rumble, has been going on since July 2020?
Wow. No, really?
Yes. July 2020. And I talked to Sal, he is now the longest reigning champion of any kind in the modern era. He passed Gunther's reign, Walter's reign as UK champion. He's now the longest reigning of any title in the modern era. And that's the last 30 years. That's crazy. So that's incredible.
So does that kind of in some way down the road that there'll be a change?
I don't know. And well, that will be my segue.
Not bad for a boy from Mississippi. Yeah, I could buy a Maybach.
You know, it's funny. Everyone give crap to Triple H for like, everyone's going to go to rock music. We're going to rock music. We're going to rock music. Then why the blue hell is Hardy all over WWE programming? This is not the first time. He did Tribute to the Troops too. Like, Tribute to the Troops with all country music. And now we have the Rumble with the country music and make a live performance with Hardy from Hardy. I'm not going to bullshit you. I don't even follow country music close I used to, but I have zero clue who Hardy is.
I've never heard of him up until his
WWE stuff. And the funny part is, KP, Kevin Patrick, put out there that he has the #1 new album to come out. You can't say something like that when the Billboard charts are easily accessible. and you can go on the Billboard charts and fact check too. And it's not even the #1 country album right now. By a male. It's not even the #1 country album. He's not even in the top 10. Let alone the top 200 Billboard. Like
maybe in another country.
Anyway, this is Hardy sold out at the theme song for the Rumble. By the way, did you hear that the weekend's gonna be they're doing another weekend song for the WrestleMania?
Oh God!
No, come on! It's like 4 years in a row.
Yesterday, I don't know if it was a joke or not. I will find out.
Did they sign a Saudi contract with him or something?
I have no idea. We'll find out soon enough. Obviously, we'll hear it 1,000 times soon. But apparently, it's another weekend song for the Rumble for the WrestleMania this year.
Oh, God.
Couldn't believe it. I'm like, what? Come on now. Where the fuck is Poppy after all this? Like, where's Poppy? Anyway, let's get to the Rumble. The fun part about the Rumble, pay-per-view previews don't take that long because there's not a lot of matches this year. Like, actually, I realize this. That the last couple of years, Peacock Rumbles, because that's when a couple of Rumbles have been, we've had like 10 matches on the card and 2 Rumble matches. Like, it's been ridiculously stacked. And this time, we currently have 3 matches and 2 Rumbles with the rumor of Charlotte versus Sonya also being added, which is fine. I understand that. We're having a feud, but on the Rumble. But so the matches that we have, if they want to, it all depends on what they do. They're probably throwing on here just because they'll have 2 women, because they don't have because we look at it this way, Sal. In the past, we've had 2 men's world title matches. We only have 1 men's world title. So they'll probably put both women's world title matches on the show. And they'll probably do it that way.
If it's on the pre-show, it's still on the show.
Technically. Even though we never talked about it. Anyway, so the matches that are actually announced. Dad brought it up earlier. We'll bring it up here. It is the Mountain Dew Pitch Black match. By the way, the reason I'm saying it, that's exactly how they're calling it, and that's exactly how they're promoting it. It is the Mountain Dew Pitch Black match. It is Bray Wyatt, or whatever character he's playing today, versus LA Knight. Yeah. Here's the problem. Yeah. I have no idea what the fuck we're doing. I have no idea what this is. I don't know what's going on. I heard rumors something about neon colors or something. I don't know what the hell's going on. I don't know what character's coming out.
I'm assuming this is going to be cinematic.
I don't know. No one seems to know anything. No one seems to know anything. LA Knight got interviewed, and he even said, "I don't even know what we're doing yet." This was 2 weeks ago.
I don't think it's going to be cinematic. I think it's going to happen in the ring, but no one has elaborated as far as what's happening.
Exactly, that's the problem. I have zero clue what's going on. And the funny part is that we have the whole Uncle Howdy storyline, right? And this whole feud started because LA Knight was annoyed by Bray Wyatt, so we have a match. Fair enough. Very old school. I have no problem with that. It was very old school setup. And then Uncle Howdy comes out and attacks Bray Wyatt. Right. No reason, no idea, never explained. No one said the word to us. And Uncle Howdy, for some reason, is flirting with Alexa Bliss. We'll get to that in a few minutes. Uncle Howdy's not on regular TV. And then Bray Wyatt comes out and says, "I'm Uncle Howdy." I'm like, what the fuck's going on? Like, what is happening around here? And then the Firefly Funhouse comes back. Like, what makes any sense?
Well, here's the thing where basically Bray was coming out and doing his little spiel and basically how he's back and he's glad to be back and he doesn't want to be that other type of person. And then all of a sudden when LA Knight pushes his buttons and everything goes, then he talks to LA Knight, he basically says, you got what you wanted. Are you happy now?
I don't understand any of this stuff. Who the fuck the heel? Like, who's the heel in this match? Is it LA Knight because he's an asshole? Or is it Bray Wyatt, who for some reason had the camera guy 2 weeks ago? Like, I don't understand what's going on. That doesn't make sense. No. I know you don't watch SmackDown, so you miss a lot of the hype for this, but based on what we just said,
hype. I don't know. I'm sticking to my guns that it's going to be a cinematic match because the fact that they just haven't explained any of it at all just makes me believe that it's not going to be a live match. I think it's just going to be a pre-recorded cinematic match, which typically I feel like Bray Wyatt matches should go because of how they are. As far as what the match is going to be, I mean, who fucking knows?
Although based on your point, is the crowd going to be happy with that if you don't get a Bray Wyatt entrance or anything like that?
Listen, the crowd's never going to be happy with anything.
I'm just making a point, though. I'm just wondering. You know what I mean?
I mean, obviously, if I'm paying $150 for the nosebleeds and I'm watching this match on, on the Jumbotron, I'm not going to be happy either. But I mean, whatever, it is what it is. As far as the match itself, I mean, as far as I know, Bray Wyatt, this would be his first televised match since coming back, correct?
It is. He's only had like
It
two
is.
house show
Okay.
matches. This is like the third match back period. This is his first one on TV.
Yeah, so I mean, I would think it'd be really fucking stupid if he loses his first match back, especially on a weird stipulation like this. So
I agree. 100% I
I'm
agree.
gonna say Bray Wyatt is gonna win by sticking his tongue in Larry Wright's eye. I don't know.
Sure. Okay. By the way, I look back. I loaded up the preview on WWE.com. Just maybe there's some hint on what the match is. And even they have no idea what the hell's going on. It's a preview on WWE.com. My favorite part is the last paragraph versus what will happen when Wyatt and Knight go head to head in a pitch black match. Will Uncle Howdy play a role in the match? That's it. That's the whole thing. That's the whole thing they got. Bray's winning. I don't have a clue how. I don't know what's going on. If it happens in the ring, apparently Nia likes to be involved. I don't know. We'll find out. Dad, back to you.
I don't know. I don't think it's going to be cinematic. I'm going to probably say that it'll start in the ring and go backstage. I don't know what is all involved unless they have stuff all marked up for them and glow in the dark paint or something.
What?
But I expect something to where you're going to see Uncle Howdy appear. You're going to see the Fiend appear, and then you're going to see Bray Wyatt. And here's the thing. Bray Wyatt can't be all three if they're all coming out at once.
That's a good point, actually. That's a very good point.
And then he's going to fuse the hell out of LA Knight and put him in a fucking straitjacket and send him to the nut house.
Wow, that was weird. So speaking of Uncle Howdy, we'll segue to our next match, which is the Raw Women's Championship match. It is Bianca Belair versus Alexa Bliss. Again, no idea how we got here, except the fact that Uncle Howdy apparently that Bianca confronted Alexa Bliss and she has PTSD of being an evil villain and decided to be an evil villain anyway. I guess that's what we did here. That's how we're here. There was zero reason to take the belts off Bianca before WrestleMania. There is zero reason. Why Uncle Howdy's involved in this, I have zero clue. So that's the only way Alexa's going to be even close to winning. Bianca's maintaining the title, Sal.
Yeah. I mean, I think eventually down the road, Lady Fiend or whatever the fuck we're calling her, will win the title. But I agree. I mean, at this point, it's not worth doing it now. At least let her ride it out until WrestleMania and then see what happens.
Yeah, WrestleMania will be a full year of the title. So you might as well just go Mania at this point. You might as well.
Yeah.
This thing that's going through Alexa, my thing is maybe she has a relationship with Uncle Howdy that, hasn't really come totally out yet, but I think that's what it is. And she's going to make a good showing, but she's going to fall short and Bianca's going to retain.
All right. Let's move on to the women's Royal Rumble match. As Sal is making notes on my notes, which cracked me up, I'm not gonna lie. So here's the problem with the Women's Rumble. The people who have announced are all they've announced. This is all that I double checked before we came on the air to make sure I didn't miss something. And between WWE.com and Wikipedia, this is all that's announced. Liv Morgan, Candice LeRae, or Candice LeRae, as Sal put it in notes, Rhea Ripley, Raquel Rodriguez, who may or may not be a heel. I have no idea. Shayna Baszler, who may or may not be tagging with Ronda Rousey. I don't know. Selena Vega, because she went on commentary and said, I'm in the Rumble. That's why you're asking Sal. That's the reason. And Emma, who apparently got put in the match on the post show for SmackDown that nobody watches. That's it. That's it. I think my pick is the same. I've said for 2 months it's going to be Rhea Ripley. Rhea Ripley.
Oh, it's gotta. It has to be.
That's been my pick for 2 months. So, Rhea Ripley's going to win the Rumble and face Bianca at WrestleMania. Sal.
Yeah. After the year that Rhea Ripley has had, I mean, if she doesn't get rewarded with the main event of Rumble, night one or whatever they would do,
Right.
I would be upset. So it has to be Rhea Ripley. I mean, I foresee a domination a la Brock Lesnar that one year when he eliminated the first 17 people or whatever.
Whatever it was.
I could see, yeah, I could see something similar to that. But I mean, they have to ride this wave because I mean, the crowd will riot if she does not win.
I actually kind of agreed that.
I think what's going to come down to is the last two contestants of the match.
Contestants, by the way. I don't know what that
Contestants. I'm being nice. Combatants would be Rhea Ripley and Raquel Rodriguez, and let's see who throws who out first. And yeah, I think that Rhea's gonna win the whole shebang, and yeah, she's gonna get her just rewards because for all this time, all she's doing is playing protector to Dominic, what she could be doing.
If you remember, we were supposed to have Bianca versus Rhea at a PLE, I think. And then Rhea got hurt.
Yes.
We never got that match.
Right.
We never got it, and they never went back to it. But I think they were saving it for Mania. I think that's why. They realized that Rhea was getting red hot. Judgment Day, for some reason, is relevant. I don't know how that happened, but Judgment Day is relevant.
And because of her.
And her and Dominic Mysterio. Like, who the hell saw that one coming? And you realize that if this happens, that Dominic Mysterio in 2023 is going to be involved in a women's championship feud. You realize that's going to happen? Like,
yes.
Insane.
I'm all for it. And you know
Out.
John's going to be all over that too. You know John is going to be like,
oh my god, it's going to be so much fun. Like, it's going to be so much fun to watch. Like,
here's a question. One more time. Rhea will win the women's Royal Rumble. Do you think because of that she'll break away from Judgment Day?
No, absolutely not.
No,
Absolutely not.
no,
Judgment
no,
Day
no,
stays
no,
together.
no.
Judgment Day stays together. Absolutely not. Especially because WrestleMania will be the 1 year anniversary of Judgment Day. So you definitely don't want to break them up before that. No, absolutely not. You keep Judgment Day together. You keep Dom and Rhea together. You keep this whole group together. It is working, and I don't know why, but it's working.
You mean Poppy and Mama?
You don't break it up because
Yes.
it's working. That's what it is.
Yes.
Like, it's working.
no, Poppy and Mommy.
Yeah, because
Tommy.
it's pissing off Ray.
It's amazing. Like, and I don't even care if we get Dom versus Ray anymore. Like, this is too much fun. Like, I don't even care anymore. That's the best part. Like, how have we got to the point where I don't give a shit that we get Ray versus Dom at WrestleMania anymore? I just want to see Dom hang out with Rhea Ripley the entire time. That's all I want to see.
There was a rumor going around that supposedly a match on SmackDown was supposed to be, get this, Ray and Angie, his wife,
Oh, that would never
against
happen.
Dominic and Rhea.
That would never happen. I've heard rumors that they might do something with like if they didn't have Rhea red hot and Rhea's going to more likely win the Rumble. There was a rumor going on it was going to be Edge and Beth versus Rhea and Dom. Rumor going on, but obviously if Rhea wins the Rumble, it's not going to happen. But like that's the rumor going on. That would have been hysterical. I'm not going to lie, that would have been funny. And Edge trying to play on Dominic. Ed missed the whole Dominic thing. So I want to see Edge react to Dominic now. I think that'd be hilarious. So it's not going to happen. But anyway, okay, let's get to the men's side of things. First of all, we have the undisputed WWE Universal Championship. And by the way, I hope the damn hell they split these titles soon. It is Roman Reigns defending against Kevin Owens. And apparently, I found this out today. This is the third time that Roman Reigns and Kevin Owens have had a title match at Royal Rumble. This is the third time. This is the second time in this reign. And then apparently they also had a match in 2017. This is the third time that we're getting Reigns versus Owens at the Royal Rumble.
So, are we led to believe that third time is not the charm?
Absolutely
That
not.
is correct.
There's zero reason to hit the belt off Roman Reigns. But I am intrigued by this match. And remember, Roman said that is this Sammy's last chance to prove himself. What does that mean, Sal?
Well, it's pretty obvious that Sammy's going to be winning the Elimination Chamber of some sort, and probably getting a secondary title shot. So I'm assuming that Sammy is probably going to try to interfere and screw it up for Roman. Roman's still going to win because, he's Roman Reigns.
Roman Reigns.
And then go to the Elimination Chamber. Sammy's going to win because everyone in the front row is going to be sitting on his face. and go into
That's,
WrestleMania.
by the way, that's not a joke. Sami Zayn's face is all over the chamber chairs. So this is all that out there. That was about. Continue.
So for this match, obviously, Roman Reigns will be retaining, even though Sami Zayn gets involved and screws it up for Roman, where Kevin Owens is like at a 2.999999 count.
By the way, so I just looked up the number. When this episode drops on Friday, Reigns' reign will be 874 days.
Okay.
Absolutely
Damn.
insane. Absolutely crazy. Dad, 2 years agreeing with this is Roman, right? There's like no reason to take the belt
Yeah.
off.
I mean, you don't want to do it before WrestleMania because my thing is, I have an inkly feeling that at WrestleMania, Sammy's going to get involved in Roman losing the belt at WrestleMania.
But let's segue now then. We'll take that segue to the Royal Rumble match. The men's Royal Rumble, the announced competitors. We have Cody Rhodes, Bobby Lashley, Austin Theory, Seth Rollins, Drew McIntyre, Sheamus, Kofi Kingston, Tenzin Escobar, Ricochet, Baron Corbin, Rey Mysterio, Gunther, Omos, and Karrion Kross. Sammy's not announced for this yet. Judgment Day members aren't announced for this yet. You know they will be. Sal, who's winning the men's Royal Rumble?
I mean, I'm sticking to the original guns, and I'm going to say Cody Rhodes.
Okay, that's where I'm kind of laying. I've been saying Cody since he got hurt at Hell in a Cell. Like, I literally said that.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean,
like when he got hurt at Hell in a Cell, and they said the timeline, I'm like, Rumble. He's gonna win the Rumble.
listen, to get him away from AEW, I have a real good feeling they said we're going to give you the main event at WrestleMania and give you the title. So, I mean, like for him to leave AEW, I feel like this is the reason why. So it has to happen.
That's an interesting way of putting it, actually. That's an interesting way of putting it. I didn't think of it from that perspective. What's interesting to me is that these packages they put together the last like 5 weeks for him have been fantastic. Like I give them credit; they've been really, really great. Just surprised anybody because WWE Productions and WWE Productions is always great. The only exception that I will make for Cody winning would be Sammy. He's the only person that I would say would win. Sammy's not in the Rumble yet. My thing is that if you're going to do that, if Sammy's getting in the Rumble, you have to eliminate him at a certain point where it's like
Final Four.
Well, not even that. The crowd's not going to be pissed about it if Cody wins. I use this example is Daniel Bryan not winning the Rumble. Roman Reigns getting booed because he won the Rumble because anyone wants Daniel Bryan to win the Rumble. You have to find a way, if Sammy's getting in the Rumble, to get eliminated to a point that's like the crowd's not going to be pissed about it. So that Cody can win and get the big ovation and everyone's happy.
Right.
So there's that. Thad, to you.
Here's the thing with Sammy. I know they're going to push his red hot right now. Is in the Rumble, what if he gets eliminated by one of the Bloodline members? How does that go over? You know, I mean, is it something that Roman told them to do, or is it something that they do on their own?
My theory, but I had a theory. I had a theory about this. I actually had a whole theory about this planned out before they put KO in the title match. Was you have Sammy, KO, the Usos, and Soul Skull all in the match together, all of them at the same time, and KO is going after the Usos. Sammy is looking like he's going to help, and then he accidentally eliminates the Usos with KO. Solo sees this, thinking he did it on purpose, and eliminates Sammy and KO, and then that sets up everything going into the chamber.
Okay.
That's where I was at.
Yeah.
Before they put KO in the title match. That's where I think I'll still stick with that because KO will probably still be in the Rumble, but like that's where I was. But I don't know if they're going to put both Usos in the Rumble or anything, but that's where I was. Go ahead, Dad. Back to you.
My overall pick, and I'm going to go with you guys, it's going to be Cody. I mean, if WWE lured him back here with money and other promises, they're going to have to make good on it. I mean, I think they would have did a long time ago if it wasn't for the injury. But now, putting the injury in with the storyline and the vignettes, I mean, you're cheering for the underdog. And you want him to win, and you want him to accomplish everything that he said he wanted to do, get the belt, and basically honor the family. So I mean, everyone's pushing for Cody, and you can't blame them. And I think for the most part, Cody's going to come out on top.
What's interesting here is CJ despises Cody Rhodes. And I asked him, why do you hate Cody Rhodes? Because he hates Cody Rhodes because of him beating Sammy Guevara for the title. I swear to God, that's the reason he hates Cody Rhodes. But then he goes and tells me Cody's going to win the Rumble. That Cody's going to win the Rumble. I'm like, okay, here you go. Somebody who doesn't like the guy picked him for the Rumble. Like, that said a lot right there.
So does Christian hate Cody like I hated Double J?
I don't know. Do you still hate Double J? Just curious because I'm just wondering because I don't know how you feel during
No,
Double J matches on AEW right now.
No, I don't hate him anymore. I basically
now that I'm not fucking guest anymore. Now he decided
kind of envious of him because here's the thing that I find out about him. He's got a great head for business, and here I thought he didn't have that. So I kind of envy him for having this great head in business how to do things.
Okay, so before we wrap up here, I just got an alert. For those who don't know, I am attending C2E2 this year, and it's our WrestleMania weekend. Okay. All right, I'm like, there's not gonna be wrestlers at the thing, but if they do, AEW people, I think got an announcement. Christian Cage, can you stop doing that? Stop doing that. Okay, I'm gonna say it on the air. Yes. When you do that, it drives me crazy, and it actually drives me nuts when I'm listening back on the show. So stop doing that. Like, oh my God, the pet peeve. Stop it. Anyway, C2E2 just announced that Christian Cage is going to be at C2E2 on the Friday and the Saturday. I'm not sure what day I'm going. It all depends on the Boy Meets World panel, what day I'm going. But so Christian Cage is going to be there. That's pretty cool. That's the first wrestler announcement for C2E2. Like, oh, that's pretty cool. I was wondering what they were going to do. All right, let's do this. We'll end the show. Dad, what are we closing the show with?
Hey, we're going with Michael Bublé, Make You Feel My Love. And his version sounds more of a poppy, jazzy version of the song, so that's why I picked it.
Very cool. It's very Michael Bublé. Sal, take it away.
Yeah, for more information on our show, including where you can find us on social media. You changed it, or watch the show on YouTube. Go to theblakeandsalshow.com. Don't forget to comment and leave a rating and review, and we'll read it on the show.
That's your thing.
Hey, as always, it's been your pleasure. And if you have a local independent wrestling organization where you live in, please patronize these people. These are the wonderful young men and women that are coming up in the world of professional wrestling, sports entertainment, and they want to show you what they're able to do and how to entertain you to get to that brass ring to go into a major organization. So please, give them love, show them love, and you'll be surprised at what they can do. And hey, let's just be nice for us out there, everyone. A little kindness goes a long way. So just be kind, do what's right, treat each other or kindness, with respect, and we'll all get along.
By the way, for those people that just heard me outburst out of nowhere when it comes to Dad talking like that, I've been addressing this for months off the air, and he doesn't listen to me. So he needs to listen to me now on the air. Anyway,
somebody got a little antsy.
Yeah, I've been bothering me for months, and I finally released on the air. Anyway, next week is going to be a very interesting week for the show because we're doing 2 shows in 2 days, and you're going to hear it over the next 2 Fridays. But next week's show, we're going to have Kelly Wells here to look back at the Rumble, his favorite show of the year, and preview NXT Vengeance Day because Sal doesn't watch NXT, so really we should have somebody here that does. That'll be that episode will air after we record the next week's show. However, no. Anyway, that'll be my last show before we go to Jersey. So that's interesting. Anyway, that's next week. That being said, let's get out of here. I'm Blake.
I'm Sal.
I'm Mark.
And you've been listening to The Blake and Sal Show with Mark. Have a good day, everybody.
Hey, we love you guys.
Yeah.
And remember, we're always around.
Change of blue and wild you ain't seen nothing like me yet. I could make you happy, make your dreams. Baby, there's nothing that I wouldn't do.
Go to the ends of the earth for you to make you feel my love, to make you feel my love.
Thank you so very much. Goodbye. Mwah, and good night.